what would you like to take from another game and add to Fallout 4? And Miranda's going, ooh, me. So we're going to start with her.
So building from The Sims. I think Fallout 4 had a good base, but I don't like that you're limited to the ground to build. And that doesn't really make sense. Like, it's not like it takes time to build each thing. So it's not supposed to be like realistic. You're just placing a massive staircase somewhere. But I want to be able to step back and like see what I'm building. Sometimes I'll be working on I just have a painting, but I've made the room too small. So like getting the painting in the right spot is almost impossible because it's just of how like you picked it up or where it naturally spawns. So there's just some building tools that I think should be refined.
I like the Sims comparison. So you just have a much more complete camera controls to where you can place absolutely everything where you want.
Like you can just move the walls down, just make it quick a little bit faster, and so that way construction doesn't feel so tiresome sometimes.
That's really good. Sean, what about you?
Going back to the BioWare Mass Effect thing, I think the dialogue trees, like I would love more in-depth dialogue trees.
Okay.
Like I think that, I don't know, I think the world is really fully realized in its way, in its environmental way, in its systemic way, but I think it could go a little bit deeper in terms of the characters, you know? Like, I want nothing more than to know everything about some of the people who are in my settlements, but you can't talk to, or you have to go a certain distance in the game before new dialogue options open up, and I just don't like that. Like, one of the cool things that was awesome about Mass Effect was that you could spend hours just talking to random people and getting like incredible backstories that would have no bearing on you or the story. They would just end up filling out your codex.
Enriching the world.
Yeah. I spent so much time reading about the world in Mass Effect through the codex and talking to the characters. I would love to do that in Fallout because it's a game that has that lore.
What about you, Brendan?
I was probably kind of bouncing off of Sean. So I took my inspiration from an actual earlier Bethesda title. I think Oblivion, to me, had some of the best, like, fully realized NPCs. Like the first time you go into the Imperial City in Oblivion and it's this huge sprawling city, and everybody in that city has a name, they have an occupation, they have a job, they have a timetable that they follow. Like they'll wake up in the morning, they'll go down, they'll have breakfast at their place, they'll go for a stroll in the garden, they'll go to their shop, and like you can watch them do these things. Yeah. And like I feel like some of that it kind of like got missed in this game where people are called settlers or refugee, and they'll go like, hey. And you can't really ask them, like to Sean's point, you can't really talk to them.
You just set me down a tangent. I'm sorry. I got an opportunity to watch to be at GDC to go to the postmort for Shenmue. You know the famous Sega kind of immersive environment 1980s mundane life simulator that was for the Dreamcast. A game I really like, but the creator was talking about when they were testing that they had the same kind of cycle. Every person in the little town had a life and a job and places they wanted to be and things they needed. And they all had a purpose and a distinct personality. But when they were testing that, the developers came in one morning on their PCs and they couldn't find the population of the town. Everyone had vanished.
Oh, geez.
The whole town had disappeared. And they were searching, through the streets of the town, just trying to find all their population. And finally, they got to one convenience store. And the entire town was trapped inside the same convenience store. They had all decided to go to breakfast at once and pick up breakfast at the convenience, and they were trapped in the door, and they couldn't get back out of the sliding doors.
Like a Stephen King novel.
And so they went and just found everybody crammed against the walls. Yeah, exactly like The Mist. I think that's a cute little thing. But yeah, I like that.